being the Sunday before the Thanksgiving Day, I have chosen this theme for our today's discussion. We all say thank you when we get something, and we feel that when something that we give to someone, there should be this feeling of thankfulness there too. Let us see the source of this feeling, that why do we feel indebted when we say thank you. It is that indebtedness that is actually finding its expression, the feeling of indebtedness, that yes, I have received something through your courtesy, through your good offices, by your presence, by your generosity. We acknowledge that. But where is the source of all this? Why do we feel the need? And why should we actually feel that need to express this feeling of thanks? Let us ponder on this for a little while. We see that this is because of the interconnectedness of the whole existence. We are all interdependent, interconnected. No person, as they say, is an island. No being is an island. That we may say that, okay, I don't need anybody. I will go and just lock myself on an island. But then that island also has to be there. You didn't make that island. So I will just close myself in a room. I don't need anybody. Well, that you still need the room and the door that closes. It is. And still you breathe. It is. You may not be feeling this, that for your breathing there has to be air which you didn't manufacture. Somebody has put that air right there for you to breathe. You did not create most of these things that you depend on. They are there for you. And it is therefore this idea that we are all interdependent. Every single particle in this universe is dependent on the whole universe. And the whole universe kind of depends on every little particle. It all makes, the combined whole together. Many times in the a wrong perception of renunciation or being detached, we get this idea, so let me go away from everything, and I do not need to be connected with anyone. It is this idea somehow makes us feel that we are kind of spiritual, we are detached, we are not going to be indebted to anybody because of this. But friends, that's not really true. It is the detachment in the spiritual sense means something quite different. That it means being attached to God really, not being attached to names and forms, but to be connected, to be tied to the actual substance. And that is the spiritual meaning in which this word is used by the scriptures. Detachment doesn't mean then I will start quarreling with others. I get attracted to others. That is attachment. I am too attached to my family. So let us, to break that attachment, let me kickstart a quarrel with everybody. So that is no way to get detachment. It is, you get attached to anger. Instead of getting attached to loving care, you got attached now to anger. The detachment that is mentioned is of a higher type, in the sense that you feel connected to the sum and substance of everything. You are connecting, you are just abstracting the names and forms from your awareness and are truly looking at the substratum of everything, the God. So, detachment in that sense is really getting connected to God. And when we get connected to God, now the outcome of it is that in all appearances we start feeling the presence of the divine. And then we see that we are connected, we are together in God. And we see we ourselves as together with everyone. The teachings are to be understood, the spiritual teachings of Vedanta are to be understood at these two important planes, that we live on. One is the plane where there is no form, there is no particularization, there is no, any attribute that we are thinking of. So beyond all attributes, there is nothing that we can think of as names and forms and shapes and so forth. And there, yes, there is nobody to thank, and nobody to receive, nobody to give. But then there is the other plane where we see the world of names and forms. When we have to express something, then we use the forms. The forms and the attributes, they come into picture as soon as we want to express anything. In attributeless nature of the self, there is no particularized expression at all. So, that is all pervading. There is no multiplicity involved there. For example, just think, for as a wonderful exercise in feeling our attributeless existence. Think that just close the eyes and for a minute see that all the different names and forms are just dissolved in this whole ocean of darkness. Now you don't see multiplicity. And therefore, who is going to speak to whom? So, there is no possibility of saying thank you to anyone, because there is no anyone apart from the whole undivided existence. And so, no question of expressing, saying thank you. But when we see multiplicity, I and the world, now we are in the realm of attributes, names and forms. We identify with the attributes. Even a person of highest wisdom, when is communicating with others, that person is aware of name and form. I am so and so. The person of knowledge and person in ignorance, there is no difference in that part. The difference is the ignorant person is not aware that I have an attributeless divine nature. I am all pervading, I am infinite. That part is absent in an ignorant person. But for a person of knowledge, when he is communicating with others, then there is the idea that actually everything is one without second. And yet, on this plane, I am using this body to communicate to somebody who is using that body. There is the connection of A with one body, connection of B with another body. There is the physically tied identities that we experience. Like I am standing before you to give a sermon, a lecture. Now, and I see that you are hopefully listening. It is that, but if you look at, the existence itself pervading everything, there is then no division. There is no somebody who is speaking, there is no somebody who is listening. Now, the question of feeling this idea of gratitude, indebtedness, or thanking it comes into picture here. That yes, I am feeling my existence as limited by this particular body and mind, but yet I am aware, I have heard that actually I am not limited by this. In reality, just think, that, a wave, thinking that yes, I am this wave, but my true nature is the ocean. Just think of that. Now, this particular person feels that I am connected with all other waves. My subsistence depends on the cooperation with other waves. Now, also this person sees that all the happiness ensues from getting connected, getting united. And that union is, a twofold, or has two categories, let us say, the right one and the wrong one. Two categories united means that union could be a quarrelsome union. And let us come together to fight with each other and eliminate each other. And that is one kind of union. There the feeling of indebtedness will not come. It is that I eliminate you or you eliminate me. That is, the feeling of competition is there. We never would think, thank you for being here so that I can destroy you. No, it is that kind of feeling doesn't come there at all. It is unnatural completely. But when we feel the togetherness, that yes, we are, helping each other, cooperating with each other, and we see that in so many ways we feel this sense that I am being helped by so many. Sometimes we get a reaction, and I don't know how many people have expressed it to me, and I too have felt that many times earlier, that I would see that, look, I have helped this person so many times, but when it is time for me to receive something, to be helped by that person is not doing it. He is running away, and then I feel angered. I feel that that person is bad person, because I did all my best, to help that person. I suffered a lot for that. I did so much of sacrifice for that person. And that ungrateful fellow has forgotten everything. And now when I need a little bit, he is not anywhere to be found, or is thinking, and then that many times starts our heart burns, or this feeling, why should I do good to others? When it comes to, they all take my advantage of me. It is a very commonly used term, that Swami, if I am good, then I am taken advantage of. People take advantage of me. And then I ask questions, suppose they take advantage of you, what do you lose? Let them take advantage of you. No, but when it is my turn, they all turn back to me. Then, from my own experience, I suggest them to think like this. Have you not come across so many people in your life who have helped you consciously or unconsciously? So many people have done so much good turn to you, and you never did anything in return to them. Don't you remember such incidents, that so many people have helped you in life, with whom you never had another contact, you do not even remember them, and yet you were helped by them? So maybe, you are, the whole universe is connected. That person helped you, and in turn you are helping these people. Do not think that they have to help you back. In fact, if you think in that manner that, yes, I was privileged to help you, thank you for being there to receive my help, the whole thing becomes then turned in a different way. That in what way does it help us? Then we see that that person has helped you to expand your awareness. When we say thank you to someone, see, some noble feeling in us arises. That is why we have this Thanksgiving Day, that the feeling of gratefulness is one of those noble feelings which enkindle the spirit of benevolence in us, a joy in us, when somebody does a good turn to me, even something that is very minor, and that person might not even have done it consciously. You say, thank you. It is not much to that person's benefit as it is to the benefit of the one who says that, because that brings out a nobility in us. Thank you. Let us, you can think of it, that when you say thank you, you feel that connectedness. You get connected to the universal spirit. That is where everything is actually coming from. But that person became an instrument in that. In Vedanta tradition, what is called inanimate is also seen as conscious entity. Actually, it is a wonderful philosophy. The basic idea is so sublime that it is everything that is actually material, and so we may feel is not conscious. There is somebody that is called a deity actually. A deity that is considering that matter as I. And thus that deity becomes the conscious spirit governing it. It may sound somewhat, difficult to grasp, but if I bring it to the level of our own bodies, it will become clearer that what is, when I say I am this person, what do I refer to? It is a piece of matter, is it not? Some bones, blood, and skin, and so forth, all these things. This is matter. But I say that I am this. So, the Vedanta philosophy says that with every piece of matter, there is a conscious being associated with it. There is nothing that is completely only matter. There is like this heap of matter, you say it is I am carrying it, I am working through it, I am speaking through it, and so forth, I am seeing through that. It is a heap of matter, and I am the conscious entity that feel that I am this. So, in the Vedic literature you will see that even sun god or wind god or even anything that is earth god, you may think that they are inanimate, but there is a spirit that embodies through that piece of matter. So therefore you will see many Vedic prayers of thanksgiving to them as well. It is in Ayurvedic science, it is when the doctor is extracting medication from a plant, what is the ritual is, and when you see this idea, you can understand it, that there is a prayer, that the plant has to be prayed, that please reveal all the medicinal qualities that you have in this extract, and then after taking it, there is the thank you plant. And thank you, plant, for giving it to me. And this is, a very ennobling experience. That yes, I am sitting on your chair. Thank you for being there so that I can sit on you. It provides, so much of feeling that yes, things are all conscious, which actually is the case. But our ignorance does not let us see this. We think that I am conscious. These are all just matter that I manipulate. No, they also have a conscious entityship. And if they do not cooperate, our life could be miserable, Our life could be really, go to sit on the chair, imagine, and suddenly it gives way. The feeling won't be a desirable one. So the chair is there, that we can sit. Thank you, chair. Thank you that there are lights because of which I can see. So all these, they connect ourselves. The feeling of thanking, brings to us this awareness that the life is there in everything. And this is a stepping stone, an important stepping stone to see that conscious entity in everything is actually one and the same. And this is the idea of thanking is having this connectedness. And when we see the connection, we start seeing that oneness as well. The oneness then can be felt at all different levels. That is why not only when receiving from someone we should say thank you, but even when we are privileged to give something to someone, let us feel that sense of indebtedness, that because that person is there to receive, we got the opportunity to expand our awareness. This expansion of our awareness is the greatest gift, friends. That is what can make us really happy. That feeling that yes, you got the opportunity to be of service to someone, and thereby we're able to connect with that person. The idea of being secluded and separate is not the idea of spiritual life as such. You may go in a cave, but not out of, idea of being separate from the universe. But you can go to the cave to meditate on the oneness of the whole existence. And when we do that, the truth arises. This is, and thus the outcome actually beautifully indicates and illustrates this, that when a person really meditates, then as the same oneself is felt, seen everywhere, then that person automatically becomes compassionate to everyone. The whole life changes. There is no hatefulness at all possible there. As Ishavasya Upanishad says that, look, if when someone realizes this same oneself in everyone, all around, then what happens? Then how can that person hate anybody? Because hating is about others. The others, they are not. I am always good, it is. The others are to be not good. You hate others. Now, this thanksgiving, giving thanks to others, brings us to that level where we will be able to feel that connection of oneness. That yes, this self is same in all. What a wonderful idea it is. This self is, it is a bit counterintuitive, not easily felt by people. In fact, it is a great spiritual advancement to even feel it a little bit. And when we say thanks, something akin to that gets kindled in us. That yes, I here and I there is really same. So, that Upanishad says, Ishavasya Upanishad, that when there is this idea becomes actualized, that the self is same in all, Where is there the possibility of covetousness or hating somebody or snatching away anything from anybody? That idea will vanish because there is no possibility left for it. It is not question of restraining, that it is, no, I should not hate anybody. Although the feeling of hatefulness is coming up, one, says, no, I should not say such words. And there is that incident in that Wizard of Oz movie, It was funny that a lady is saying the witch to that witch, that Dorothy, that girl's aunt, that witch has taken away the dog and all that. And so, naturally, this lady is feeling terribly angry, very angry with this neighbor witch. And she says, all along last 30 or whatever years, I was itching to tell you what I think about you. But being a Christian, I can't say that. In saying that, she said actually everything. So, it is, I can't say that, it is you are curbing, that thing is coming up in you, but you are curbing that. It is a good practice to curb it, but when you actually see the oneness, that feeling also will not rise at all. That is, just as when we see oneness, we do not have that feeling, possibility is not there. As the example that I give many times, your left hand never quarrels with the right hand. It is, if somebody else's hand, that is, you feel, then the quarreling is possible. But my left hand, never seen. Do you, any of you have seen your left hand having a big fight with your right hand? Not possible, because there is that underlying awareness of being one. And now, imagine, when that person gets this awareness of one, there is no feeling of hatefulness. And that happens when we say thanks to someone. Immediately, even if we had some, that feeling of distance or anger towards that person, they thank you, just pushes it aside, and a feeling of benevolence is, it comes out. So that is why the significance of thanking lies there. It is, of course, quite natural to feel grateful, and one should feel grateful. And expressing it is very good, because whatever we express, it gets the scope to develop. Whatever we don't give opportunity, then that thing does not grow. So if we want to give scope to develop this spirit of gratitude in us, then we should say thanks for everything that we receive. Not in a just formal mocking way, but it is, we should be feeling that sense of indebtedness expressed by these words. And even when that is, of course, a very difficult thing to do, but we can practice it. It is, we can still practice it. If somebody gives me pain, do I spontaneously get the feeling of thanking that person? And it doesn't come. Oh, thank you, you gave me a big kick on my back. No. It is, we won't get that kind of feeling. But it is when we want to, expand our connectedness and see that everything comes really from God. And that person was just an instrument, just as somebody who gave you a candy was an instrument of God. Somebody who gave me a kick, that also was, what, Paul, you don't seem to agree? That was also instrument of God. And that taught me some lesson, that I learned something from that. So I should be, thankful for that too. It is like somebody got cheated, a person that I know got cheated in some deal. And then that person said, well, I thank him. He cheated me, no doubt, but I thank him because it was a learning experience. Otherwise, to learn that, I might have had to pay more fees. So I got it without paying that much fees. So in a way, it was, I got to learn from that. So it was what happens with that is, you got cheated, maybe you lost a lot of money. But at least along with that, you did not lose your smile. You did not lose your goodwill. Otherwise, you would have lost both, is it not? Otherwise, what would have happened? Money was anyway gone. In addition to losing money, you would have lost your peace of mind, your smile, your feeling of benevolence. Everything would have been lost. By thanking that person, at least you saved half of it. It is, and the most important part of it was saved. So it is like that, the feeling of thanks becomes so helpful to us in gradually feeling the grace of God in everything. There is the story of Kunti, the mother, a very devoted lady, mother of these good 5 brothers in that epic. And then once it so happened that the Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna asks her, that what do you want from me? And what is that? You ask a boon. And now we would have immediately started thinking of what boon should we be asking. We should be asking maybe a big nice house to live in, or at least a raise in my pay, or some such things I would be thinking of asking. This pious lady, we cannot really think also. She prays to Lord, bring calamities to me. Bring calamities in my life. Bring more terrible problems in my life. Why? She gives the reason. Because that makes me remember you. It is when I am getting all the pleasant things, who remembers God, No time to remember God then. But when some difficulties, some problems come, then what happens? Even an atheist starts remembering God. Yeah, I know that incident is very, touching and teaching incident. That one friend who comes here and then he got into a big atheist mood that day and started arguing with me that, well, there is nothing like God. What is God? No God. And what to pray for? No. There is no God at all. Where is God? I don't believe in this. and I'd never pray. And then he had told me an incident in his life, a matter of life and death, and how, that he and his wife had been, in a very difficult situation, like earthquake. They were trapped. And then I said, at that moment when the roof was falling on your head, what did you think of? And then suddenly, his eyes became teary. Ah, yes. And then he didn't argue with me on this point. Yeah, when there is this very difficult situation, you are caught in a tight corner, then everybody starts thinking about a power that is beyond this. So, everybody kind of becomes, so that lady therefore says, otherwise we tend to forget you, O Lord. So, bring me calamities, bring me all these problems, so that I will not forget you. That is, of course, a stage of high devotion. But we can become like that, Let us learn to thank for everything that we receive, everything that, including the opportunity to give somebody something. Let us feel that sense of gratitude.